Right everyone, it is Finn here and welcome back to my channel where today I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about Cameroon for this year's African Cup of Nations, because of course the indomitable Lions will be hosting this year's Afcon competition. And may I just say, amongst one or two other nations maybe, they might be one of the favourites to win the competition overall. I mean, they've got one of the easiest groups, they are by far the strongest in their group for this competition. They've won the African Cup of Nations 5 times before and they've got brilliant players throughout the entirety of their squad. So to say that I think Cameroon could win this year's African Cup of Nations, I don't think it's a long shot. So what we're going to do in today's videos, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about Cameroon for this year's African Cup of Nations. I'm going to be telling you which formation I believe the indomitable Lions should use. I'm going to be telling you the starting 11 that I think they should use. I'm going to be talking about their group a tiny bit and just telling you about a few stars that I believe are in their team. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now before getting into the starting 11 that I believe Cameroon should use for this competition if they want to win it overall, we're going to have to talk about the group stages first of all. As I said, I believe Cameroon by a long shot are the best team within their group. They are in a group with the likes of Cape Verde, Ethiopia and Burkina Faso. Now although Burkina Faso have one or two brilliant stars within their squad, as I said, Cameroon winning the competition 5 times overall, the most recently being in 2017, they should have absolutely no problem and should almost lose absolutely no points within their group in my opinion. Jumping into the starting 11 I believe Cameroon should use for this competition, I do believe that Cameroon should use a 4-4-1-1 kind of formation. I'm kind of going to elaborate and explain that as this video goes on because you're going to see the players I put into this team. But starting off between the posts, we've got the likes of Onana, a goalkeeper that was suspended for an entire year for being way too cool. Hello? What do you mean that's not what doping means? Oh. Now unfortunately the likes of Andre Onana missed almost an entire year of football due to a suspension due to doping problems, but before his suspension he was one of the most promising goalkeepers in the entire world and had multiple Premier League links. It looked very likely that he was going to move to the likes of Arsenal, and with the likes of Ajax he has been a superb goalkeeper, helping them reach a semi-final stage in the Champions League, and it looks very likely within the upcoming transfer windows that he's going to move to the likes of Inter Milan. So although he missed an entire year of football, he is still a very capable goalkeeper and should be Cameroon's #1 between the posts. Now moving into the defensive positions, more specifically the right back position, more specifically the likes of Collins Faye. Now Collins Faye has been a solid fixture of this Cameroonian national team for a very long time, with 48 appearances, 48 caps for the indomitable Lions already. He currently plays for the likes of Standard Liège in the Belgian Pro League, and he really is a proper modern day fullback. I think in terms of moving forward from defensive positions, he really is the perfect option for Cameroon in this competition. As I said, I think he's a proper modern day fullback in terms of moving forward, in terms of attacking ability, creating chances and moving back to defend. I think Collins Faye is the perfect man and not too shabby for this Cameroonian national team. Moving on to the other side of the field in the left back position, I've got a man who's only got 2 appearances at the moment for the Cameroonian national team. Although doesn't have that much experience, I think will be really good going forward. As well, a proper modern day fullback in the likes of Noho Tolo, currently playing for the Seattle Sounders in the MLS in America. A different type of experience, a different type of football ability. He's pretty much played his entire career in America. He did start his career off in Cameroon though, but has played many seasons in the MLS, has even been part of the MLS All-Star team. As I said, not a player that too many people have heard of before, but I believe if you put Collins Faye and Tolo in a team together in terms of moving forward in attacking fullback positions, I think that could be a super secret weapon that Cameroon could almost use, especially because you guys will see later on that I've got quite a lot of tall physical players in this Cameroon team. So if you've got fullbacks that can deliver balls into the box, it could be deadly. Now in terms of the 2 centre halves I've gone for Cameroon for this competition, it was kind of a tricky one because Cameroon do have quite a few options I could have gone with, but the 2 centre backs I've gone for is the likes of Martin Hongla and Harold Mokwedi. Now, once again, guys, I am sorry, I'm not from these regions, so I'm sorry if I pronounce any names incorrectly. Please do forgive me. I am trying my best out here, but as I said, the centre-backs I've gone for is Hongla and Mokwedi. Now, first of all, looking at the likes of Hongla, he currently plays for Royal Antwerp in the Belgian Pro League, but is loaned out at the moment to Hellas Verona in the Italian Serie A. Now, although only 23 years old, has built himself quite a reputation, is looking like a really promising youngster, was part of the Barcelona B team a few years ago, and although plays as a centre-back, he can also play in a defensive midfielder role. He has quite a bit of pace on him in terms of distributing. He could play a major role for Cameroon at the African Cup of Nations, and that's why I've put him in the squad. And ever since 2020, he's already made 8 appearances for the Indomitable Lions, showing that slowly but surely the 23-year-old is already sneaking into the starting 11. As I said, in terms of his centre-back partner, I've gone for the likes of Harold Mokwedi. Once again, sorry if I'm pronouncing and butchering that name incorrectly, but he currently plays for the likes of Saint Etienne. Now, yes, I know at the moment Saint Etienne are rock bottom of League 1 in the French league, but in terms of performances, he himself has been putting out really good performances from a centre-back position, especially a few months ago. Saint Etienne played against the likes of Olympique Lyon. It was a 1-1 draw, and I would definitely say that looking at Mokwedi, he played a major role in securing that draw. I think he's a really solid, really good, promising looking centre-back with a bright future ahead of him, and in terms of that physical element, I think putting him next to the likes of Hongla could be a really solid partnership. Now, talking about the likes of Olympique Lyon, the next player we're going to be talking about is a player who plays for Olympique Lyon. Moving on to our midfield positions. In the left midfield, we've got the likes of Ekambi, currently 5 goals and 2 assists in 17 appearances for Olympique Lyon this season. Now, of course, if you watch football, this man needs absolutely no introduction. A very versatile forward, can play as a striker, can play as a centre forward, can play as a winger, and has been absolutely brilliant for Olympique Lyon ever since he moved from Villarreal, where even then his numbers were brilliant. I mean, looking at the likes of Ekambi, to me it is a no-brainer that he should play in this Cameroon national team. Last season he got 14 goals and 6 assists in the league, absolutely brilliant, 20 goal contributions, and already has 40 caps for Cameroon. I believe moving forward in terms of an attacking threat, Ekambi might just be your man, Cameroon. In terms of the other winger or right midfielder that I believe Cameroon should use, we've got the likes of Ngamaleo. Now, once again, sorry if I'm pronouncing and butchering these names to oblivion, but I've looked all over social media and especially on African Cup of Nations Facebook pages and stuff like that. Yes, I know, I go very deep into my research. A lot of Cameroon national team fans seem to really like the likes of Ngamaleo. They really seem to think that he has a lot of potential to him, so I am going to trust the fans in terms of this. Currently plays in the Switzerland National League with young boys, has gotten 3 goals and 5 assists so far this season. So in terms of distributing from a wide area, I believe having the likes of Ngamaleo and Ekambi in this team together, distributing into this box, could be an ideal move for Cameroon. Now, the first central midfielder I'm going to be talking about, once again, if you know your football, is a man who doesn't need too much of an introduction, and it is going to be the likes of Anguissa, currently playing for Napoli in Serie A as well, on loan from Fulham. Now, of course, if you watched him in the Premier League last season, he was absolutely brilliant, had more tackles than any other player at Fulham in the Premier League last season, with an average of 2.2 tackles per game. In terms of a proper, solid, tall, strong midfielder, I believe Anguissa could be your man. Has done relatively well with Napoli. I would say that he isn't the main starting option for them, but Napoli at the moment doing very, very well, 3rd place on the Serie A table. As I said, Anguissa is a brilliant midfielder. When at Fulham, he was linked to some major moves to some top clubs, once again the likes of Arsenal popping up, and I believe in a competition like this at the African Cup of Nations, Anguissa could be the star man for the Indomitable Lions. Now, in terms of finding the perfect midfield partnership with Anguissa, a brilliant player, I'm not going to lie, I struggled with a tiny bit while planning this video, especially in terms of the midfield in this position. I kind of shuffled through quite a few players before I found the perfect one, but the midfield partner I decided to go with is going to be Pierre Kunder. Used to play for the likes of Mainz in the German Bundesliga, currently plays for Olympiacos. Now, unfortunately, ever since moving from Atletico Madrid to Mainz, he did kind of struggle with form, only started 6 games last season, but since moving to Olympiacos, he looks a lot more secure in his position. And the reason I actually put him in this team is because although he is kind of classified as a defensive midfielder nowadays, he has played as a number 6, as a number 8, as a number 10. He could do absolutely anything for this Cameroon national team. If you need an attacking midfielder, a box-to-box, or a defensive midfielder, I do believe that Kunder Malong could be your man. I think in terms of a solid midfield pivot between Anguissa and Malong, I feel like that could be a really strong point in terms of winning the ball in the midfield for Cameroon in a competition like this. Now moving on from our midfield positions, it is time to look at our attack now. Now the first attacker we're going to be looking at is going to be our centre forward, or our second striker behind our main striker, in the likes of Choupo-Moting, a player who's played in this position many times before. Maybe the most recognizable player within this squad, is set to captain Cameroon in this competition. Now looking at Choupo-Moting, has played for some of the best clubs throughout the world, the likes of Bayern Munich at the moment. He's played for PSG, and although his numbers have never been top tier compared to everyone else, he knows how to get a winning goal here and there. He's gotten 3 goals in 9 Bundesliga games this season. Now I know he doesn't play every single game for Bayern Munich, but let's be honest, not too many strikers are going to get game time if Robin Lewandowski is in the squad, are they? So you can't hate him too much for that. But 3 goals in 9 games in the Bundesliga this season, that's the same amount of goals as he got in 22 appearances last season. He did get a goal in his 1 Champions League appearance this season. And on top of that, looking at him for the Cameroon national team, he's gotten 17 goals in 60 appearances. That's almost a goal every 3 matches. I think Choupo-Moting could play a major role playing as a second striker option. Now the reason I've put him as a second striker option is he can kind of fall back into the midfield to add an extra man to the midfield, but he can also play up front tiny bit, as I said, as another striker option. As I said, moving between midfield and attack could really be a solid option for him. He's done it multiple times before for the Cameroon national team, and it just seems to work in my opinion. Now moving on to our final player for this Cameroon national team for Afcon 2021, it is going to be the likes of Vincent Abubakar, one of the most underrated strikers, I'd almost say, in the world at the moment. Look, he is playing in the Saudi Arabian League at the moment, 6 goals and 3 assists in 14 appearances, but before that, his days at Besiktas were almost second to none, getting 15 goals and 5 assists last season in the Turkish National League. I think putting the likes of him with Choupo-Moting in the squad together could be really, really deadly. Now that you guys kind of see the attack I've got for this Cameroon national team, you kind of understand my winger and fullback decisions a tiny bit more. If you're able to use these players to distribute and contribute balls into the box from wide areas, I think having the likes of headers like Abubakar and Choupo-Moting in your squad could be the real deal and could be really deadly against some other opposition's defense. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for my video on everything you need to know about Cameroon for Afcon 2021. That is what I believe their starting lineup should look like for this competition. Now, of course, I made videos like these for the Euros in terms of the best squad possible for Scotland, for Netherlands, teams like that. You guys seem to have enjoyed them, so that's why I want to do it for the African Cup of Nations. If there are any other nations you want me to do this with, I've already kind of planned an Ivory Coast and a Senegal one. If you want me to do any other nation, let me know in the comment section down below. But of course, guys, I hope you end up enjoying the competition. As I said, if there are any changes you would make, let me know down below. But looking at Cameroon, they have got an incredibly deadly team and could definitely win this year's competition. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like this video down below. Can we please get it to 10 likes? And please do subscribe down below, as we are so close to 1,750 subscribers. I'd love to hit it before the end of the year, but that is up to you guys. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Finn, FYNN. Love and appreciate every single one of you. Cheers!